If I could have all of your undivided attention, Ian McKenzie is going to come up and tell us a few jokes. So let's all give it up for Ian McKenzie.
Sadly, no Scottish jokes tonight.
Oh, he's Irish.
Something like that. I always fall back to Irish. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's amateur hour here. I got my cell phone to hold my hand, quite literally. Or maybe the other way around. Anyway, just a heads up, I'm schizophrenic, so I'm gonna make the odd reference to mental illness, so if that upsets you in any way, put some earplugs in or something. May as well start with a dad joke. What do you call a crazy man babbling incoherently on the street, spraying spit as he rambles? A schizophrenic. There you go. All right. Well, Kelowna has recently been ranked as one of the unhappiest cities in Canada. Being schizophrenic, I've thought about suicide for quite a few years, and it seems like people never do it properly. Lots of survivors. I mean, come on, what's with these people? Can't even get suicide right. I mean, it's like they're mentally ill or something. I feel like Star Wars are androids. Anyone watching The Mandalorian lately? Hi. I feel like the androids are the only ones that have like proper emotional management in that show. They seem way more human than the actual humans. Like when shit's going down, they're just like, woo! And you know, the humans are just like, I don't know, they're like misogynist men in 50s movies. They're just like, sheesh, G28, what's with you? Your oil leaking again? Someone get this thing a rag. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I've been walking around Kelowna. Lots of psychotic drivers here. Walk around and, well, I'll tell you. Being a pedestrian, I was pretty sure when I first got here that being a pedestrian was punishable by summary judgment of death, so that gives you an idea. I see a lot of quails around here. They're like most of the walkers I see in Kelowna, mostly just quails. And I feel like those birds aren't real. Like quails are just humans that adapted to sociopathic Kelowna drivers. So how about a little impression? This is my impression of quail / Kelowna pedestrian on the streets.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Alright, yeah, there's a quail for you. All that running away, I'm starting to feel at home here at Runaways. Yeah, walking Kelowna, it's the worst. I guess what my point is, I'm starting to understand what it means by quails being an invasive species. I think you just don't like pedestrians, that's all it is. Well, yeah, no, the city is crazy. I get the unhappiness rating. If Kelowna were a band, it would be a heavy metal jazz with Britney Spears as the front runner. Kelowna has more tech nerds on steroids than New York City has stockbrokers on cocaine. You know, you take too much steroids when you you start forming breast tissue from taking too much steroids. I've heard about that. As a schizophrenic, I have the opposite problem. The medication just forms it on its own. So I get breast tissue without the big muscles, so it's kind of a rip-off, if you ask me. I have to build it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, you might think I take steroids, but these babies right here are au naturel. Yeah, but between that and all the bench presses I've had, you know, past girlfriends, they complain about my hair being fuller, and my boobs being bigger, so I guess all I could say was, well, I guess you're probably a lesbian. Well, people think my partner and I are lesbians when they talk to her. She buzz cuts her hair and calls me her partner, so immediately they're shocked when they meet a tall bearded guy. They realize I'm a man or They think she's been dating the amazing beer lady with the traveling circus. Yeah, do a lot of walking. I was walking along Pandosy earlier, right past that blue ginger shop, and I saw this black woman. Her hair, she was just the darkest skin. She almost looked like she was blue, and she was wearing blue jeans. So it was just like this blue person walking right past me. And then immediately afterwards, I saw this ginger girl with this fiery red hair. And I was like, oh my God, blue, ginger. If they aren't the co-owners, that was just like the most magical moment I have ever seen. Speaking of magic, I think it's time for a magic trick. So, Fraser, where are you? Do you want to do it? Come up here. We're gonna do a magic trick.
Take it off!
All right. Okay, Fraser, right behind you is my beer with a coaster. And that coaster I have magically imbued. So take the beer off of the coaster, just put it right next to it. I'm going to demonstrate, hopefully, how this is magic. So, Fraser, is that beer on a chair?
Yes.
Is that coaster on a chair?
Yes.
Is that a house drawn on that coaster?
Yes.
Around the QR code?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. I'm just going to take this off. Hopefully I don't make a horrible noise.
No, you're good.
Okay. So, beer? Yes or no? Beer?
Yes.
Chair?
Chair.
Yes. Chair? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So we got the coaster. Do you agree this is a coaster?
Yes.
You agree this is beer?
Yes.
Do you agree the beer is on the house?
No.
Looks like I didn't have enough mana. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, my magic spell failed. I'll have to do a bit more leveling up. Where was I?
Try that trick on Jen, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I walk a lot, mostly to stay sane. A couple years ago, I started carrying aspirin. You never know what you run into. And sure enough, within 2 months, some guy collapsed right in front of me with a heart attack and a seizure. And now I know what you're thinking, guys. It's because of these double B cups right here. Nope. You can look, but you can't touch. All right. The aspirin came in pretty handy, though. Better outcome for the guy. But while it was happening, I put my Stanfield under their head to stop them from scraping their face on the pavement, and I got it back and it was covered in drool. And you know, I was going out for drinks later that night, and I realized, you know, usually the drool happens after the drinking, not before. So anyway, I carry Nax along with me too, because you never know what you run into. I walk a lot, you never know. And well, I lost my place. Oh yeah, I was telling this. I was walking downtown to see another street. One of the business owners were just standing on the street, and we were talking, and he saw it in my bag, and we were talking about it, and he said, you must carry a knife too." And I said, "Well, I don't know. That kind of seems like the opposite tool for what I'm intending with my backpacking." I love this. I'm bombing, but I still get some courtesy laughs. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, Kelowna is hard to wrap my head around. I've gone to all the art galleries I can find, and aside from Sopa down the road, it all just kind of looks the same to me. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So sometimes you come here for poetry and music. I guess if any of you are regulars for the open mic. But maybe I'll just close this off with a little poem. It's inspired by all the old white women of Kelowna, and
Where? Racist?
well, they're hiding from here, I guess. But my mom, a fellow old white woman, she encouraged me to perform it tonight. So she either thinks it's really good or she wants tomatoes thrown at me. So anyway, I call it Pleasant Things. I wrote it this morning. Old white women, the few, the proud, defending us all when there's a hateful crowd. Oh, the venerable old white women, They like pleasant things, sold with old white men's acumen, a painting, a potting, a poem to sing. They fill up the galleries and boards, the gardens, the place of their choice. They fill all the platforms in hordes, give the voiceless a voice. With old white men, money, shrewdness, and power, we herald in now the white woman's hour. To defend the downtrodden and sour, the beaten, the battered, those without dower. Oh, what's this? A transition is coming? I too am a white woman, for I'm not the villain. How could that be? I'm a fighter against such villainy. So step aside, colored, you savage, queer, crazy, the rest. You should know now that I know the best. No one wants to be the big bad guy, to shed our resplendency adorned with things that we buy. So instead of admit we do evil shit, now we shall acquit. Like everything else, we'll buy it. Because when I put my manicured feet on the chaos of the street, I cannot compete with the reality of defeat. I try to help the worst off, but they shoot themselves in the foot. I exhale and huff, they deserve where they're put. To myself, that's what I say, because to my dismay, lingering under my mental fray, my comforts made them this way. Such thoughts I can't reconcile to the idea that I could be so vile, so I ignore the trial of my amorality and make pleasant things for inside a gallery. Hey, what do you call someone in Kelowna with no friends aside from me after this set?
Why?
A Kelowner. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Yeah.
All right, give it another round of applause for Ian. It takes a lot of balls to get up in front of people when it's not comedy and try and spit that out. So, you know, he's probably got the biggest pair of us all in here right now. You know, there's not a lot of jammers, so you guys are just welcome to come up and freaking do your thing, man. Come play some music.
You guys can just jam. Oh, yeah. Jam. Oh, yeah. I'm going anywhere. It's busy. It's slow enough.